Even with the shutdown, a buzzer-beating decision this afternoon will give California more time to bring our real IDs up to federal standards. 10 News reporter Rena Nakano joins us from Hillcrest now, the DMV office there, where the whole idea of the real ID is really confusing for a lot of Californians.
Yeah, it's very confusing for a lot of people. Even when I was studying this story, it was very, very confusing. So I'm going to try to break it down for you. Right now in the United States, there are only 5 states that actually have a federally compliant state driver's license. California, not one of those. So they're trying really hard to get the green light from the federal government, but they haven't quite gotten that. Today, they got an extension that gives them until April to make that happen. Confusion spreads among DMV goers in California regarding the new Real ID.
I have no idea. Apparently you can fly up with it?
The state DMV started issuing what are called Real IDs, California driver's licenses that follow federally approved guidelines last January. But so far, the Department of Homeland Security hasn't formally approved the state's Real ID issuing practices. DHS had until tomorrow to approve or deny California's process, but just extended that deadline until April. So what does this mean? For DMV, it's business as usual. Do I need a Real ID if I'm flying out of state tomorrow? No. If you are traveling before October 1st, 2020, just use your regular, unexpired California license. If I already have a Real ID, is it valid? Yes, it is valid until it expires, but one change. Instead of one form of proof of residency, you'll now need 2 when you renew. DHS made that move in November, and the California DMV says that process should be available online or by mail in the future. What if I don't have a Real ID yet? Well, if you apply between now and April, you can just bring 1 form of proof of residency, but after April, you will need 2. And finally, do I even need a Real ID in the first place? Well, that depends. If you know you will not visit any federal buildings after October 1st, 2020, or if you choose to use your passport or other federally approved ID when flying domestically, you do not need one. And so now with the extension, we are in the clear as of right now. So the important date to remember here is October 1st, 2020. You can, until that day, use your regular California driver's license or a current Real ID to travel domestically if you just want to use those IDs until October 1st. Now, after that, if you want to go into a federal building or fly domestically just with an ID without a passport, you are going to need your California Real ID. Live in Hillcrest, I'm Rena Nakano, 10 News.